Hey guys, thanks for stopping by my channel today. My name is Gina, and I believe there's more to life than looking good, but you gotta look good too. So today, we're gonna focus on looking good. So I wanna say this is my monthly favorites, but since it's like the middle of the month, I'm like distinctly late according to like YouTube standards. So we're just gonna kind of call this things I'm liking right now. Because that's really what it is. It's things I'm liking right now. I realized I was like, oh shoot, I missed, you know, the monthly favorites, like should be out like the first week of the month. And I was like, you know what? Just want to talk about what I like. I mean, I love talking to you in my car chats and stuff, but I like makeup and beauty and all that stuff too. So let's talk about that. I don't have a ton of stuff because I'm really trying not to give you a 45-minute video, but I've got a variety. So I feel like I've got it covered. So I'm very surprised I'm going to make this first recommendation of what I'm liking right now because I've always had oily skin. I'm always working on trying to mattify it. I realize though, as time goes on, that the area around my chin gets dry. And I get kind of patchy spots like within my foundation as the day wears on. And so I've been using by Too Faced the Hangover RX Replenishing Face Primer. It's a little bit lotiony, but not quite. And I literally just apply it around my chin and around my mouth, kind of up into the sides of my nose, just a hair, because I feel like it balances out kind of the rest of my face. On the rest of my face, I will use mattifying primer. I'll use a pore smoothing primer. I have a trifecta of priming going on my face. Actually, I can tell you. I use the Tarte Clean Slate Timeless Smoothing Primer Base. I use this on the sides of my nose and along my cheek where my pores are quite dominant and prominent. And then right now I happen to be using by Soap & Glory the One Heck of a Blot Primer, just kind of as a very light layer, kind of all over my face. These guys do not go anywhere near this guy. They're like oil and water. They may not mix, but they do have their own specific zones. And honestly, it's actually been working out. I know it sounds complicated, but like I said, kind of at the end of the day, I was always having like dryness and tightness, and then also like dry patchiness. And I'm like, okay, we have to stop that because that looks awful. Kind of looks like I was molting. Gross. I am enjoying a new skincare product by Ouai Henrickson. I love his Truth Serum. I use that every day. I've been through multiple bottles, but I decided to jump into the this is still like part of his Truth line, I suppose, because it's got the vitamin C. It's the Banana Bright Eye Cream. And it also, similar to the Truth Serum, has vitamin C and collagen boosting properties to it. It actually is yellow, which is kind of cool. I think that's why they're calling it a banana cream. I use this, I do all of my skincare in the bathroom prior to coming in to do my makeup. And there's usually about a half hour to 45-minute like span of time in between that. But because I'm using like products like an AHA, an AHA and a BHA product on my skin, as well as the Truth Serum, SPF moisturizer, I don't necessarily want to go in and touch my eyes immediately either because I don't want to get stuff in my eyes so that they like burn. So I've actually started keeping this now at my vanity so that way when I'm doing my makeup, I'll do this right before. So it actually then kind of moisturizes my eye area, which will set it up for applying concealer and foundation. And I'm hoping, although I haven't been using it nearly as long enough, I'm hoping that it does do something to kind of lighten the circles and stuff going on underneath my eyes. I love Ouai. One of you guys, which was awesome, corrected me because I was calling him like Olay. Is it a him? Oh my God, now I'm not even sure if it's a him. But anyway, I was calling it Olay, and it's not Olay, it's Ouai, which sounds awesome. Okay, so I recently posted my video about the Tom Ford bronzer brush, which was $115 retail, which I am living for, which I keep right here. Oh, see, in its case. I told you guys in that video, I keep it in its case. I will link it. Oh my God, I love this brush, $115. So I find it only fair to talk about a pretty phenomenal but cheapy brush. This is by e.l.f. and this is their blush brush. And so I gotta hold it up this way. So it's very soft. You can literally like poke yourself in the eye and it won't hurt you because the bristles are not prickly, which I love. It is a very kind of tapered, also kind of narrow. It's got, what do you call this? This is the bristle holder. I know it has a really fancy name. The ferrule? Is that what it's called? Maybe it's the ferret. No, it's not the ferret. It's the animal. Anyway, where the bristles are held in, it's pinched, and so that makes this pretty narrow. I do use this for blush. Actually, I have a bunch of these. These are the $6 e.l.f. brushes. I do use this for blush because I only like putting blush in a very particular place. But primarily, I use this for setting my under eye concealer because this will get right into the point of your eye without actually poking you in the eye. Even though it won't hurt, I just don't want to poke myself in the eye with some bristles. But if you were to catch yourself in the eye, it wouldn't hurt. But anyway, I also hate like when I try to like set under eye concealer. When the brush is too big, you wind up putting it along your nose. And this schnoz right here does not need any highlighting or accenting. And so, in fact, it needs like a cape. We need to like cover it from the rest of the world. So I want a very precise brush, so that nothing gets on my nose. That's not meant to be on my nose. It's an under eye concealer and an under eye setting brush. We should not be doing any of those things to the sides of our nose. So I have a bunch of these, and I use them for just kind of a bunch of different reasons because they're so cheap. They're so soft. And so, hey, you can't go wrong with that. Love a good drugstore brush. Speaking of drugstore, see, I'm just setting you up with a false sense of security today because I'm about to talk about more expensive things in just a moment. I might have mentioned this before, maybe in like an annual like drugstore favorites video, but I've been using it again because I forgot how much I loved it. This is kicking it way back. I'm actually surprised it's still around because most things that I enjoy actually wind up getting discontinued. This is by CoverGirl. This is one of their Cheekers blushes. This is the shade, in fact, it's so cheap. It's like $3.99 at Target. The top came off, but that's okay. It's $3.99. This is the shade, I'm covering it like there's a mirror. Hi, this is the shade Iced Cappuccino. It is a beautiful peachy brown. It does not swatch for crap. Which, well, maybe you can see it just a little bit. But I'm wearing it. And that's a lot of color on my face. I don't like a ton of color. But I don't know, there's something about it. It's like the perfect natural blend of just like a really natural looking blush. I love that I love the smell. I don't even know what the smell is, but it's this old school CoverGirl. I mean, I don't know. For $3.99, I actually think it's better than Milani's Luminoso, which everybody talks about. This blush is not like flat matte, but it definitely has less luminosity or luminance. That's not a word. It has less reflection than Milani's Luminoso. And actually, that's kind of why I don't like Milani's Luminoso. First of all, I think it's very peach. I love it as a blush, but as far as being kind of universal, it's very like orangey peach and also super reflective. And I don't really need that happening on my cheeks. Still a beautiful blush. I'm not saying I don't like it. And I do think it is one of the best drugstore blushes. But I actually think that the CoverGirl Cheekers is better. Just the one thing that does suck, actually, let me just say that. I'm like, it's better. And then I'm like, okay, no, wait, there is something that sucks about it. Who applies blush from a channel? Like, I'm not quite sure what CoverGirl was thinking. Like, they haven't even revamped it as time has gone on. What were they thinking? How do you get a blush brush in there? Which is why the e.l.f. blush brush works pretty phenomenally because it's a pretty small brush. But I don't understand. I'm not quite sure what we were thinking, like, in design and marketing when we decided to put the blush, like, in a tube. How do you can't. So you got to fight with it a little bit. But honestly, if you like the color payoff, which I do, I love how it blends with my particular skin tone. And did I mention it's $4? It's $4. Okay, let me do a couple of hair things and then I'll do my favorite lippies for the month. I don't usually do lippies. I've got lippies. So I was kind of taking stock of my life and realizing that like I would spend like $50 on a Dior highlighter and I was spending like $4 on like hairstyling products. And I'm like, So rather than cut back on the cost of my makeup, I decided I need to amp up the cost of my hair care. So I caved, which I think is a good sign because I was kind of waiting it out, deciding if I really wanted it. This is by Ouai, O-U-A-I, Ouai. We've got Ouai and Ula today in today's video, which is kind of hilarious. This is the Rose Hair and Body Oil. What caught my attention initially, honestly, was that it was rose, and I'm enjoying the smell of roses right now. I like how this product can be used on your hands. So like after you use it through your hair, like you don't necessarily have to wash it off your hands. It's a very kind of dry oil as far as when you're able to put it on your skin, it absorbs quickly and a lot. I love, in particular, moisturizing my cuticles and kind of in between my fingers where I tend to get really dry. But this works really nice also for the ends of your hair. If you use too much, and this is what justifies the price, if you use too much, it will tend to look a little bit greasy. And so you just got to be really careful with that. So less is more. I put like a in the middle of my palm, and then I mash them all together, and then I just kind of like, as if I was scrunching my hair, use it just kind of on the ends. And so it tames flyaways, gets rid of frizz, gets kind of masks split ends quite a bit. So that's pretty cool. Also, kicking it up in the spending department when it comes to hair, I purchased by Living Proof the PhD, Perfect Hair Day Bodybuilder. This thing smells, first of all, amazing. I might continue using it. Well, if I didn't actually like the product, I would consider continuing to use it just because I love the smell. So this is a customizable body and hold, kind of like a, they call it a hairspray, but I don't think they mean like hairspray. It's like a hair spray. First of all, you can control how much comes out by twisting the knob, like if you want a lot or if you want just a little. I typically use the little, which is convenient also because that will spread the product out more. This is the guy I use underneath. So like I will lift my hair and give it a little spray. Oh my God, it smells so good. Couldn't really describe to you what it smells like, but it smells phenomenal. And so it winds up kind of, you know, giving lift and texture, volume, as well as kind of texture without being crunchy. It's been working phenomenally. I love it. I love it. I was using by Big Sexy Hair their spray wax, kind of in the same way. Like I don't go anywhere near my roots or anything, but I was using it just kind of like on the underneath. And the spray wax really is what it is. It's a little bit waxy. And like on day 2, maybe day 3 hair, it starts to look a little greasy. I don't find that with this. This is like the hybrid between a spray wax and like a dry shampoo. Because it's not as dry as a dry shampoo is, but not as greasy or waxy as the spray wax. It's like the happy little medium. I love this guy. I'm very excited. Okay. My last thing is I've got some favorite lippies. One of them being the combo of lippies that I'm wearing right now. Let me explain what that is in particular. Actually, let me back up. I've always said that I've loved by Stila. I love Stila's liquid lipsticks. This is the Stila Stay All Day liquid lipstick. My favorite flavor is Caramello. And it's a beautiful, just kind of really neutral pink. Love. I wind up wearing this alone because this liquid lipstick is that comfortable. I'll typically put a balm over it if I feel like it, or maybe another lipstick. So I use this similar to the way you would use kind of like a neutral almost lip liner, but I find this to be much more comfortable than lip liners. Even my favorite lip liners. Lip liners are a little bit more drying. So then I've recently come into loving and becoming BFF with Huda. The Huda Beauty Liquid Matte Lipstick. This one also equally as comfortable to wear. It might be like a hair drier than the one by Stila, but when it comes to liquid lipsticks, I do not feel like it sucks the life out of my lip. This is the color, what is the name of this guy? Bombshell, which is kind of, it's darker. It's a darker nude, which I'm loving because a lot of times, I mean, nude lips look great, but when you've got light skin like I do, like you just kind of look washed out a lot. Otherwise, either that or you got to like clown your cheeks up so that you're giving yourself some color on your face. And so what I love is that this is kind of a, it's kind of like a peachy pinky brown, but it has more depth to it. So I have, this is what I'm wearing right now as a base. I have been using both of these guys, just depending on how dark or how light a lip I want to go, in combination with Bite Beauty's matte pencils. I forget what their actual name is. And can I tell you the writing on the bottom of this is like super duper tiny. Anyway, what I'm wearing right now, like I said, is the Huda Beauty Bombshell. And I've got it layered with Amaretto. Amaretto is a peachy brown. I will put them next to each other so that you can see. Here's the Bite Beauty and then here's Huda Beauty. Oh, they're both beauties. What I love about layering it with Amaretto is that it kind of just brings the brightness and the deepness and the intensity of Bombshell down just a little bit, but it complements it ever so perfectly. These are matte lip creams, but they're creamy mattes, so they don't dry you out, which also, because they're not like a gloss, you don't wind up losing the color so quickly, which I absolutely love. I will talk to hundreds of people and drink my coffee through a straw, and I will still have a pretty, almost phenomenal looking lip situation still going on. So that's Amaretto. That's one of my favorites. I also got the color, I almost said the flavor again. I also got the color Leche. Now this was what I bought initially just based on the verbal description of it, but I found it to be just a hair brighter. And so that's Leche right there. So when I want to keep the intensity of the Huda Beauty Bombshell, I will layer it with this. If I start with Caramello all the way on the edge, which I feel can sometimes be a little pale, just depending on what I've got going on in the rest of my face, I will then layer it with this one because I feel like it will brighten it just a little bit. You can mix and match all of these bad boys. I am super excited about them. These are super comfortable to wear on their own because they are a narrow stick. They almost are like a chubby lip liner, so you can get a really nice line, a strong line drawn around your lip without actually having to use a separate lip liner. So these guys are like my BFF. They've been coming with me every day, everywhere in my makeup bag. Hey, I hit the end of my list. And I don't think we've been talking for 4 hours, so that's a pretty big score for me. What are you loving right now? Not necessarily this month, but just at the moment. What are you loving? Please do share that with me down below. As always, please do give me some suggestions of what other videos you would like to see. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, then I invite you to join me and the rest of my G crew, where I like to think that we have a good time. Please find me on Instagram and Twitter if you have a minute as well. And if you enjoyed this video, please definitely let me know by giving me a thumbs up. Other than that, I hope that you're having a good day. I hope that your upcoming holiday season will be fabulous. Right now it is snowing. Next week is Thanksgiving. Holy cow. Thanks again for spending your time with me. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. And in the meantime, thanks.